Well, with me now is Simon Bazalgette. He's Chief Executive of the Jockey Club. Simon, great to see it. So what's driven this group? Is it more racegoers or existing racegoers spending more money?
Racegoers are at a record high, maintained from last year, but equally hospitality, so a better mix of offers, but media revenues have continued to grow strongly, and our commercial partnerships, where people now increasingly want to be involved with racing in a way that perhaps 10 or 15 years they didn't, and you're seeing companies like Bentleys and Boodles and companies like that getting involved in the sport.
These new commercial partners, are these largely domestic or are they from overseas as well?
They're mostly domestic at the moment. We have a whole range of things. Obviously, traditionally, you would expect to see gaming companies involved. We also have a number of overseas sovereign wealth funds and royal families involved. But increasingly, you know, commercial companies, food and drink companies, cars, those kind of things. We're seeing growth there. We have Investec as the sponsor of the Derby, for example, Randox Health for Aintree for the Grand National. So a range of different companies.
So you say that there's more interest among commercial partners that there wasn't maybe a decade ago. What is that? Is that because you've had to work harder to get them in, or is it just the quality of the sport is better and it's become more attractive?
I think it's both. I think we've had to raise our game, as every sport and every business has had to do. We've had to accept that, you know, we need to give people a really top-class experience. You can't just expect people to come and know what racing is about and know what the day is. We really have to make sure that they enjoy it, explain it to them, engage them in the sport. But also, I'd say the quality of the experience is really top class at racing and at Jockey Club courses, and the quality of the food and drink and catering that's being offered is I think a match for anything that's out there.
So the big news for you this year, or the big development, is going to be that the Tote loses its exclusive pool betting licence on your race courses, and these will revert back to the industry. What's that going to mean for punters? What will the difference be for them?
Well, it's very important. One of the things that we've grown over the last few years is taking control of things on our course, and where we can really improving the experience. The Tote, which is the exclusive pool betting company on horse racing. There's only one allowed at the moment. That exclusive licence expires in July. It was originally set up for the good of racing, to put everything back into racing, but it was sold off by the government to a bookmaker 7 or 8 years ago. And this is now our opportunity, with the end of that exclusive licence, to really take control of that and offer new kinds of products, market it better, interesting bets that perhaps you can't do at the moment, and also to make sure that the customer experience that people get on course is absolutely top class. And that allows us to put more money back into the sport, which is what the Jockey Club is all about.
Does that mean if I'm going to, say, Cheltenham Racecourse, that the Tote stands will no longer be there?
There'll be Britbet stands, but they'll look very different. We're going to have much more modern screens, much more information, better trained staff, and much more fun bets that you can have. You know, perhaps first, instead of just the winner or the first two, perhaps the first four or the first five, and those start to add up to perhaps meaningful amounts of money, more like a lottery bet, really. So new kinds of things that we think will get a wider range of people involved in the sport.
Okay, well, the other thing that's going on in the industry right now, the government's consulting on reducing the maximum stake on fixed or betting terminals in bookmakers. I mean, that in turn could hit the racing industry's revenues, couldn't it? It
could. I mean, the government is going through a consultation process at the moment, and we'll wait to see what that does. But if the net impact of that is there's less shops, we have a number of revenue streams where we sell media rights in particular to shops, and on a per shop basis. If there are less shops, we'll clearly have less revenues, and that's something that would be a challenge. So we're keeping a close eye on that and preparing to see what that would look like. But the key thing is all our other revenue streams are growing. We'll be getting into the betting market ourselves with Britbet, and so we're confident that we'll be able to we'll have a robust and resilient business, and we'll continue offering a fantastic service to our customers.
All right, well, this weekend we've got the first classic of the season, the 2000 Guineas. What's your fancy?
I think it's a bit early to pick at the moment, but I will keep an eye on, not in the 2000 Guineas, but in the 1000 Guineas. There's a horse there, a filly called Dan's Dream, which is owned by Sir Ian Botham and Sir Gareth Edwards. Oh. But it's being run for charity. So if it for spinal injuries. So if it wins on Sunday, that will be £315,000 for charity. So I'd keep an eye out for that one.